No, because I gotta leave at 10:40. 9 is the perfect time for me.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome back to the Shid podcast. This is episode number 15. I am joined here today with the very tired Daxter Howell and Ethan Leal. My name is Elijah Hansen. Today we're talking about video games. So we're gonna go from our first video games played, the most influential when we were young. We're going to talk about our favorite video games now and just video games that we are interested in general. Don't even have to have played them yet, but some that you're just interested in.
I played a lot of the last God of War game, and I like that one a lot, but I haven't gotten Ragnarok yet, so that's the next game. Yeah, it's Ragnarok.
Okay. I don't think I've ever played any of the God of War games.
Yeah. When I was little, my dad got me all 3 of fucking God of War games. I played the shit out of those when I was little. Granted, I didn't understand most of it, but it was still a really cool spectacle, So, when I was little, I had a little PlayStation 2 and an Xbox 360,
Okay,
I think those are my
classic, yeah.
And on those, I played Crash Bandicoot on that PS2. You guys know like Twin Sanity or Tag Team Racing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Man, whenever I was little, I remember my very first video game. It was Lego Star Wars 1 for the original Xbox.
Oh. Wow. Original Xbox, huh?
The original Xbox. I got it. My dad brought it home one day as like a thing for me and my sister to bond over, and I liked it more than she did. So I was like, fuck it. And I started playing, and then the next game I picked up was I want to say Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that game got me into shooters, and then from there I got into Halo 2. That was my 3rd game ever.
Halo 2 was a great game.
Halo 2 was a great game. Legendary stuff, but I didn't run through it on Legendary as a kid. So thank God, I was smart.
My dad, 007 PS2. That was so fun. I remember.
Oh yeah, the 007 games were fucking great.
It's like waking up early in the morning to go to my dad's room, creak open the door, like, Dad, can I play the PlayStation? He's like, yeah. And then we go and like we're spending all morning 007. I remember one day that we dropped the PlayStation off of like the fireplace mantle where it was, and it fell and just shattered. And my dad but that was some good.
My first video game, we had moved into a new house, and we were looking up in the rafters in the garage, and someone who lived there before us left an SNES with Mortal Kombat on it.
Nice.
And we plugged it into the TV and it worked. And we were like, yes. So that was the first video game I ever played. It was Mortal Kombat on the SNES. I remember we had the TV in the garage. And you just all sit in the garage and play Mortal Kombat and just kick the shit out of each other. It's great.
That's funny. That's cool.
Then, like 2 years later, my mom's boyfriend at the time came home with an N64 with GoldenEye 007, and that was the only game we had, so we played the fuck out of that. So
when I had like Diddy Kong Racing and a bunch of it was a bunch of racing games. I had like a Star Wars racing game from the first movie, which I thought was really cool.
The pod racing?
Yeah, pods.
You had a fucking Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace pod racing.
I have it.
You still have that pod racing game? I heard that was dog shit.
You know what? I played the shit out of that. And I didn't even care for Star Wars. And then my grandpa had a PSP with Daxter on it. I was like, oh my god, this is my game. It has my name. And it was just like a game where you play as this little orange weasel otso thing that is an exterminator. He goes around with a bug swatter and he swats bugs. He's an exterminator. But I never even played Jak and Daxter. I kind of want to though.
Great.
That is great. I mean, maybe you should. What console is it for?
I had Daxter on the PSP, but I think Jak and Daxter was on the PS2.
Those might be hard consoles to find now and then. I mean, you could probably pick it up at the thrift store. If you can get Wii's there, you could probably get PS2s there.
So, we had a for a while. And I remember Wii for a while too as a kid.
Oh,
and I remember
yeah.
collect like all of the shovelware. Just like, oh, look at that game, we'll get that, because you're always. But we played a lot of Skylanders. I remember Billy beat Skylanders like 11 times.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I only beat the first once and then never went back to any of them.
Wow. I got an Xbox 360 when I was younger. I think I was like 13 or something. And the only game I had for it was Skylanders, and I played that game so much. I beat it over and over until I got Grand Theft Auto 5.
Remember in about 2008, 2009, my dad got the Xbox 360. I want to say around the time that Halo 3 came out. And that was the only game that we had on it for a while. But then me and my sister went and convinced my mom to get us Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata. That's a great game.
Pinata. And me and my sister loved that game. That was the only game that we could bond over. The only issue is that it was one player, so we had to go ahead and fight over who could play.
I played Viva Pinata like in when I got Rare Replay, and that game's boring.
Yeah.
It's like you have like this little tiny amount of land, and you just have to like make a little home for these little tiny.
You plant shit. You plant shit. You're a gardener. You go ahead and make fucking plants and animals and shit.
He's hardcore defending this game. Okay, you just insulted Ethan on a deeper level.
So, during the PS era, we stumbled upon my favorite game of all time.
Don't say Animal Crossing. If you say Animal
it's not
Crossing,
Animal Crossing. He doesn't even like Animal Crossing. He doesn't even play Animal Crossing.
So one time we were in GameStop, Dylan and I found this hard metal case without any words on it. Like, we didn't know what the fuck this game was. Right? It's a hard metal case. We bought it because it looked cool. We don't know anything about this game. It came with the music. It came with a second disc with all the music from the game on it. And then we put in, like, we put the music disc in the radio first, and it's like this fucking, like weird music. It's like low and angry and creepy.
Is this Dark Souls?
This is Dark Souls 2.
Okay.
Dylan, we were like, I don't know, I was like 13, he was like 11. We got Dark Souls 2, and we started playing it together. We don't know anything about the game, and it's just like you spawn in. My first playthrough, like the very first Souls game I ever played was Dark Souls 2, and my first playthrough was like, what the fuck is, like, Dylan played it and he instantly gave up on it. He like there's some like pigs or some like cheap little enemies that kind of like run away from you in the start of the tutorial, and Dylan died to them.
Oh,
was like,
God.
I don't want to. It doesn't tell me anything, And I started playing the game, and I fucking fell in love with that game. I became the most addicting thing I've ever encountered, and I was going through like, a hard time. Like, most teenagers are mentally unstable and kind of depressed or anxious or fucking psychotic, you know. So like going through Dark Souls 2, it helped me become a better person in a way, which I thought, I don't know, it's just so cool. It's kind of like this giant like thing. I hated Dark Souls 2. You know, the whole community hates Dark Souls 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up putting about 50 hours into that game when we first got it, and then I got stuck on a part and then gave up. Come to find out that I made my character hollow. I still have that account on the PlayStation 3, if I still could find that PlayStation 3. And I beat that. But I don't know, that was just the
beginning of Dark Souls for you.
The beginning of my addiction, I agree. Yeah. And then no. Oh no, I gave up on Dark Souls 2 way earlier. Like Dylan and I both were like, I don't know how to play. I came back to it though, and then put in those 50 or so hours. And I found Bloodborne. And Bloodborne was the same way. So I found this random game in GameStop. It's really cheap. I don't know anything about this game. I've never even heard it before. I'm just gonna buy it. It looks cool. And then, you know, I get into Bloodborne. I get my ass kicked by a werewolf. And then I don't know how to equip my clothes or weapon. I have absolutely no clue how to equip my goddamn weapon. So I had to, like, sprint past this werewolf, get my ass kicked by everything because I'm trying to punch them to death. And I just, like the whole introduction to Bloodborne is just scouring with enemies. There's enemies all over the place. It's fucking crazy. So I gave up on that game real quick. And then, like, I had a friend in middle school, Elijah, not you, Eli, Elijah,
yeah.
who twice my size, and he was playing Bloodborne when I went over to his house. He was super far in the game and has some badass weapons, and he very quickly showed me how to equip my shit. So, with this newfound power of how to equip my weapon,
you were unstoppable.
I went back into Bloodborne and I beat it in about 60 hours, and it became my new favorite game for just like for eternity. Like, oh my god, it's so good.
Okay.
I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Has anyone else had a game like that? Like, you just found some random game you've never heard of before and like, oh my god, this is the best.
I do that a lot. I find a random game and then I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing in the world, and then I finish it and then I never play it again, and then I just have the game on there on my Xbox and I'm like, I'm gonna play something else.
Yeah.
My current fascination though is No Man's Sky, because I just found out what that is. I had heard of it, but I saw what happened. I saw one of those YouTube videos that was like comparing the sizes of maps in video games, and it said that No Man's Sky was like 32 like quintillion square kilometers big, and I was like, there's no way the map is that fucking big. And then I found out that you just go to different fucking worlds and shit, and I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, I've just been playing that a lot today.
And then there was Dark Souls 3. I beat Dark Souls 3. It felt easier to get through the areas, but the bosses were like top quality. And then I did Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and I got to the very last boss of Sekiro, and I gave up because that boss has 5 fucking posture bars, 5 bars that I need to critical attack, and no boss has had more than 4 at this point. So I'm like, it feels impossible. So I made it to the end of that game. It has such a steep learning curve. Like, you got to be aggressive and play different from every other game up until that point, that it forced its way into my mind. Like, either you have to get good and sit down and do the muscle memory, or else you're never gonna get through this game. and just got my ass handed to me by one boss for like 3 days. 3 days. and like that shit is crazy. And there's no way to like grind your level for it, because you're power for that boss. They make you a certain power to be fighting him, so it's fair. It's just it's why it's crazy.
Okay.
But I never could beat
You never beat Elden Ring? Have you attempted since the last time?
To go grinding and shoot that fucking bird off of a cliff about 100 more times if I ever want a chance to kill that fire giant, and that feels dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Why is there such a steep curve to the difficulty? Like I'm annihilating all of these people. And I feel like my build's doing good, and all of a sudden I'm just stuck, and I can't progress, and the world feels so big. And I feel like I have to follow the meta in order to make any progress, and I don't want to do that, because the best playthrough of a Souls game is your first blind playthrough, and then not doing the meta. In fact, you should just start out naked and use what you have,
Yeah.
That's the way to play the game, but I don't know.
Listen, man, that sounds like a very difficult way to play the game.
Yeah.
But that's play it.
Like, running in naked and being like, fuck it, no metas, no nothing, no YouTube tutorials, I'm just going in.
Figure it out.
Same fuck it, you and me, right now. Let's go.
Because I did my best to do a blind playthrough of the game, and just explore as much as I can on my own, and then I realized I was missing 80% of the game.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls 2?
No, Elden Ring.
Oh.
They are all a linear experience that wants you to explore. Elden Ring is like, right away, you're probably gonna miss something. I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's
But that's the thing about an open world experience is like, if you miss something, that's on you. That sucks. You didn't search hard enough.
In Dark Souls, I know that I know that I'm a certain power level that you in going through this area, so I feel more confident going through it. When I'm just like I'm walking around, I'm happy, I'm killing this guy 2 hits, and all of a sudden I walk into a boss and I'm just getting like one-shotted and I don't deal any damage. It's crazy.
You just gotta level vigor, man.
Vigor, you know what? I think I should have been a spellcaster or a sorcerer instead of a fucking. I was
trying to do a magic playthrough, but it is so much harder.
Because you start off so weak.
Yeah.
And then more powerful late.
Yeah.
I've never played Elden Ring, and the only Soulsborne game that I've played was Dark Souls 1. So, I guess I've also played Jedi Fallen Order, but Jedi Fallen Order is a lot more forgiving than the rest of the Souls games.
Yeah, when I tried Jedi Fallen Order, it felt too different for me to enjoy. It felt so like...
You barely got into combat.
Yeah, that's fair.
You got to the first cutscene, and then made it past that, and watched your friend die, and then you're like, yeah, I'm done with this game.
I was Ian!
Yeah, you were Ian from Shameless. Or the Joker from Gotham.
That's all that I saw. Was like, I'm a Jedi, but like, I'm
a gay Jedi. Yeah, like that's how I felt whenever I was playing through it for the first time. I was like, I'm Ian from Shameless with a lightsaber.
Dark Souls 1 is next on my list. To me, it's the most challenging because it only has 4 directional rolling, and it's slower. Much slower. Yeah. I'm going through new Dark Souls 2 though. I just beat it like 4 or 5 days ago, and I just accomplished something that I couldn't do as a kid, but I could do it now, and that feels so good. But I skipped the DLC, so I'm doing New Game Plus to go back and fuck up the DLC.
Nice.
Have you guys ever heard of a game called Fable?
I have.
Yeah.
I used to play the fuck ton of Fable back in the day.
I used to play Fable like it was crack. I totally forgot about this, but I got this at about the same time that I got Halo 2, the original Fable, for the original Xbox.
Yep.
I still have that game. I loved it to death. And I was never able to beat it because I was never able to beat the arena as a child.
Yeah.
But then I came back to it as an adult with Fable 1 Remastered, and I ran through the entire game. And that was fun, actually getting to kill Jack of Blades and then, run into the old man. It was definitely more interesting experience, and it had a lot more shit in it than what I thought for a game that old would have. But then Fable 2 came around, and that shit was fucking meth.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was like so addicting that it was fun. I think I put about I want to say 200 or so hours into it.
I remember going over to my cousin's house when I was a kid, and he had Fable on the original Xbox, and I would just sit there for hours and play that game. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I was attempting to play it.
Yeah, you could just run throughout the entire goddamn continent on that game and just be like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah,
Dylan and I spent Fable 2 trying to get married and chopping up wood.
Wow. That is beautiful. I mean, chopping up wood was never really my way to make money. I tried to go ahead and use the blacksmith, since I always tried to buy the blacksmiths instead of making money passively that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you buy properties, they'll make you money passively. If you buy houses, you get the ability to rent them out to NPCs. So you do that, and then you just generate money passively. I think my character generates a few $1 million each day, and since it generates passively even in real time, next time I log on to Fable 2, I'm just gonna get a giant fucking dollar sign over my head.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's great. Have either of you played High on Life yet?
No,
I have not played it.
You have not. Well, I have played it. Okay, and it's
no spoilers.
Okay, I'm not gonna spoil anything. It's a good game. It's really good, but I wish there was a little more content. It feels short for a $60 game. I beat it in a day.
Oh wow!
You know what they should add is some sort of online mode where you could
play with other people,
with the talking guns.
Yeah,
or a PvP or a PvE mode where you can have someone join you
yeah, that'd be cool.
Having a bunch of different guns sounds cool to use against each other, and they're all you get your ass kicked, and then you hear your gun talking shit to you, and it just makes you angry, want to go back.
But what if everyone has out "Let's do it"? Then
oh my god, everyone just dies immediately.
Let's do it! Let's do it! Let's do it! Let's do it!
Baxter probably hasn't seen anything about the game, so he doesn't know what Let's Do It is.
I do not know what that is.
Let's do it!
Let's do it!
Let's do it! Yo, don't shove Lex in there, we just got back! Let's do it!
Are we gonna do our first in-person podcast when you show up, Eli?
Sure.
Alright.
Cool.
We could go ahead and finally take a video recording of ourselves and then, upload that.
Whoa. Crazy.
That is absolutely insane, my guy.
And I have one microphone. Do either of you have microphones?
I do not.
No.
I have a headset with a microphone on it.
That's the next thing to upgrade our podcast, is better audio quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, well, we're just gonna have to go ahead and hopefully whenever we make more money this year, we can go ahead and, spare a few $100 towards that.
Our next road trip, I want to go to Oregon. Yes.
You want to go to Oregon?
Oregon. We're gonna get the Oregon trails. We're gonna get dysentery. We're gonna go.
We're gonna go up to Devil's Punch Bowl up in NorCal, and then we're gonna go all the way into Oregon. Maybe go ahead and see some coastal redwoods, or maybe go ahead and see some cool ass beaches, and then we gotta go into the fucking state and go hiking on some goddamn mountains.
Yes.
Nice.
I want to get back into rock climbing. I definitely need to leave. You know.
Yeah.
I haven't done that. I feel like I'm just disappointed in myself for not having up on my goals. So,
down my friends and none in my head and now
Yo, copyright, calm down.
Copyright, calm down. Damn. Man, that's gonna make me sad, man. That's make me sad. So what was some of your most influential video games that you've ever played?
I think Daxter already talked about his Dark Souls, huh? Most influential video games to me. I don't know. I really, when I was growing up, as soon as I became a teenager, it was really just like Call of Duty was like all I played.
It's like, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Huh?
Like, there was never a Call of Duty game that caught my eye. Ghosts, honestly, almost got it because it was the most unique take that they've ever done in a Call of Duty game, and I appreciated that. And I like the campaign in Ghost as well, but I don't know. Call of Duty games never really struck anything with me.
Call of Duty games were fun if you had like friends, because outside of that they weren't. Like if you don't have online friends to go ahead and play Warzone, Zombies, or multiplayer with, then it's kind of just an arena box style shooter that you can go in and fight random people in or play a video campaign.
Yeah.
Like Call of
Hey
Duty.
Dax, your mic is
really
making some weird noises. There you go.
Nice. Like Call of Duty was fun. Don't get me wrong. Black Ops 2 was crazy.
Yeah, Black Ops 2 was a good. Those were the good days, man.
It was something. Let me tell you. Let me tell you about it. It was some of the best times I had playing video games were on Black Ops 2 and Halo Reach, and right in there when.
Okay, ever played Last of Us?
I have not. That is a PlayStation exclusive, my guy.
What about you? Neither of you have played Last of Us?
We are Xbox players.
How dare you? That is one of the best video games of all time.
I'll push it further. I've never
that's
even seen anything about Last of Us.
Damn!
I'll raise you, Daxter. I played, the first 10 minutes of Last of Us, and I've also held my dad's location and have a couple of saves in Last of Us. Game is mid.
Alright then.
I do not have any reason to go play Last of Us. I do not like the gameplay's fine. It's just that, like, if you like that whole entire like sneak around type gameplay where you only have like a couple of shots, but at that point I'd play Resident Evil Biohazard.
Yeah. See, I don't have a PlayStation, and I'm not gonna buy a PlayStation to play Last of Us. So.
Yeah, I would just rather play Resident Evil at that point.
There was a time when I was really into stealth games, like Dishonored. I was playing the shit out of.
Dishonored is that's a good game.
Yeah.
Dishonored and Dishonored 2.
And then online mode that I absolutely fucking loved. Like the online mode, you spawn in with like, I don't know, you have to craft all of your stuff, and you have very little bullet. So it's like Call of Duty, but you don't have ammo, So you have to use like anything you have at all in order to kill the enemy. And I thought that was so cool. I don't know. having less stuff makes you more creative and having to use all of your abilities and use the game to all of your knowledge, so it kind of feels stronger. And then the sequel, I thought the sequel was so cool, even though like they killed one of our favorite characters right at the start, but like it's a cool experience.
I mean, it was. I have no interest in playing it for a gameplay standpoint. It does not interest me, unfortunately. I hear the story is good, but that is probably the only reason for me to play it. What I do want to play is the new God of War games, just to see how they go.
Yes. I played the
that's
God of War
exclusive, and I'm gonna have to wait until I get my PC in order to play it.
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wait until next month.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. My room is upgrading fairly fast. It's great. I got a new tapestry.
That's what happens when you're a fucking EMT, man.
Listen, this is what happens when you get your shit together.
Start making actual money.
Listen, I'm not making actual money. I'm just like, I'm making enough to survive, and I'm, happy about it. The only thing is that we just got a huge ass storm here in California, and a tree fell on my house. I just moved into.
That's not on you to pay for, though. That's an apartment.
No, yeah, that's the apartment fucking issue. Although, like, we went and called them about the leak because there was a huge fucking leak because there's a huge fucking hole in the roof, right? And they went and came in with some trash bags and a bucket.
Wow.
And then they knocked at the door and they was like, "Yo, you got a leak?" And I was like, "You fixed the leak?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, it's that." And I pointed at it in our living room from the doorway. He peeks his head in to look at it, and he goes, "Oh, fuck." FaceTimes his boss, and his boss says he can't do anything about it.
Can't do anything about it, huh?
Yeah.
So what the fuck are you supposed to do then?
I don't know. I really don't know. They said that some contractors are supposed to be out here at about Tuesday. So anywhere from this Tuesday to the Wednesday the following week, we might have a chance at getting our living room turned into a construction zone because there's a bunch of mold growing in it.
Oh, great.
Or we might have to just move units.
Yeah, I would see if you could do that.
But we don't know if there's any units available because there are other entire apartment complex where like you have branches and trees going through the roof itself.
Oh wow!
Like creating big holes. Like we got like 70-mile-an-hour winds.
Jesus Christ!
Like that. It knocked down giant ass trees.
Got out of there just in time.
Well, my manager told me something which I thought was interesting to think about. He asked me to shave my beard for my restaurant, and I did that. But I was very happy with the length, and I was just about to get out of an awkward stage and have a good beard, right? But he had me shave it, and then a manager comes in with a much longer beard than I ever had, and I started talking to him about it. And my manager comes in who made me shave, and he's like, "Yeah, why did we do that?" He says you're allowed to have a beard, but you're not allowed to grow a beard. Like you're allowed to have, but you're not allowed to go through like an awkward, weird phase where it's patchy and stuff. It's
you have to grow your beard on your own time.
That is ridiculous.
You have to grow a beard on your own time.
It takes years.
Exactly. No, wait, but you have to wear a fucking mask.
I know, right? I think that's bullshit. How I'm allowed to have a beard if I could obtain one. but I need to grow it ridiculously fast, inhumanly fast.
I think
Yeah.
you need to be able to maintain it, and if it's like kind of grown out in like an awkward stage, they don't really want you to have it. But
I
I
would tell
guess,
him to piss off.
yeah,
That
I
would-
would probably just like, if I were you, I wouldn't change it for them unless they tell you that your job is online about it. And
Yeah.
even then, I would just be like, I'm covering it up with my mask. What, like, if your worry is hair falling off of my face and getting into the food, the mask is gonna catch it.
Yeah. But
And
that was an interesting thing to think about. Like, I'm starting to hate my job more and
Yeah.
more each day. I had to pull my hair back today when I go into work. I have to wear a hair tie.
You have to wear a hair tie now?
Yeah.
Wow. Great.
don't you love wearing hair ties, Daxter?
I don't wanna have
Having
to-
your hair
what
so
the-
long.
like, I tried last week, and the moment I walked in, like, Lupe was like, "Oh, you have a ponytail!" I'm like, "Oh, thank you." That's exactly what I wanted when I walked in today.
But Daxter, you have like half of your head shaved. Like, you don't need a ponytail.
Yeah.
Like, your hair goes in a specific direction. I mean, it needs to be trimmed, maybe.
Yeah, it probably needs to be trimmed, but I don't know. Changing my look outside of work for somebody else, and I feel like I don't have to give a shit. I've already made a point in my life to not let people think about me, and now my managers are like, people are complaining about your hair. Please do something about it. I want to say no, fuck you, but I would lose my job.
Yeah, no, I remember whenever I was talking to them at the casino or working for them, they were telling me that my hair was starting to get too long at one point, and I looked at them and said, I'll cut it later.
Okay.
just
And
do
that-
that over and over.
Just like, I'll get to it later.
Never get to it.
I mean, yeah, that's when later is. Never.
Every day, Daxter, come in, just keep growing your beard. Fuck them, all right? Just tell them you'll get to it later. And then
Yeah.
once you have a full beard, you're allowed to have it. So fuck them.
Yeah.
Can't tell me not have it once I already have it.
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
you to shave it once it's already grown. Like,
How they gotta do that? How they gotta do that?
I just want to look like a hipster, man. You know.
have your ponytail and your beard at work.
I don't want the ponytail. I want my.
Are you sure you don't want to look like no steam boy? I mean, like, I don't know. Like, that shaved look is not bad. Some ladies really like it.
Okay.
Big smart.
Yeah.
Think smarter, not harder.
I'm a painter boy.
You classify yourself as painter boy. You are the painter.
Yeah. If life is a D&D chart, I put all my points and skill into painting, making shitty little pictures that are fragile and flat.
You see, if life was a D&D chart, I would really hope that I would have put all of my shit into charisma. But
No,
I know I didn't.
I think
But I know I didn't.
my D&D chart is infinitely long, and you could find any obscure topic to think about and put points into that. That is what I think about. So,
But you only get 1 point per year of life you've been alive.
1 point per year.
Yeah. So we've
I
only
feel
got
like
21 points right now, guys. What are your points in?
Listen, I got some bizarre ass points in it, okay. I just got my 23rd point. I went and got the Wandering Wastelander perk. Or the Wild Wastelander perk. And you know what? I can tell it definitely made encounters in life definitely a lot more strange and bizarre.
Yeah, I got some stamina up, and I put all my points into speech and persuasion.
Ah.
That's wild. I mean, although Dexter, I don't know, you have failed the speech check a few times around me. I'm not sure that you put all of your points of persuasion.
All right then. Maybe I have like a +2 in persuasion.
That's it. Just +2.
+2. I mean, you have to think about how old are D&D characters once we start. I mean, how old was Payne?
We're not going to talk about it. He was like 8,000 years old.
8,000 years old. Damn, that motherfucker should have 8,000 skill points.
Damn, Jayaki, what, 2? In dog years, that's a lot, I swear.
So, like, Kip Yip's like 5.
Why are we all children?
You guys are children. I am an adult.
You literally released your most powerful spell on some children.
I really did.
Yeah. Listen, okay, it's not a bad thing. It's just, not a great thing. Cornelius is probably like, 50.
We need to do D&D.
We do need to get Blake in here to do another D&D.
We need to have more energy in the next campaign. I feel like we were too somber for that. So
I was really tired.
But I think that the pet shop was the most fun I had so far.
Yeah.
Like, while God's talking, Cornelius is just letting all the birds out of the cage.
Alright.
Yeah. That's wild.
That is wild.
Wild, absolutely wild.
Well, I'm out of stuff to talk about, so...
Yeah. Let's talk about.
It's been like a 38-minute campaign, or podcast. Campaign.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like anyone's gotta watch it to completion anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we're safe to go ahead and end it if we want.
Yeah, we need to talk to Blake and see about doing a D&D one.
We really do. We really do.
Bye. Farewell.
I guess Daxter's playing our outro song now.
You have an outro song?
I guess. He's playing something.
Bye.
Alright.
Farewell.
Well, thank you guys for coming to episode 15 of the Heck Shid podcast. I hope you all enjoyed if you are watching this far. Comment potato. Yeah.
Yeah, potatoes.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.